So how do we go and actually equip our sales team to deal with this changing and evolving landscape when it comes to selling to new generations? So let's ask Mike for his thoughts.
You know, the integrity of your home, the quality of construction, the quality of the products in your home have to be demonstrated. You brag about them, you set the stage online, but for salespeople, when was the last time you jumped in the tub and were able to jump up and down in the tub, show them how solid it was, or bang on the side of it and show them that yours is solid and better? Okay. When was the last time you were able to walk them through construction and show them how the construction, how well it's done, and how much you manage that construction so that the home is built better? The misconception in the marketplace, and one of my bankers actually was buying a new home from a customer of mine and said to me, my 30-year-old home, I hate to give it up, it's just built so well. And no one had explained to him how different his new home was. So we sat down, I did with him for 10 minutes and just went over how the home is built, the energy efficiencies, the healthy, the quiet, the wrap of the house, the insulation of the house, how it's inspected, what happens today. And I'm in California, it was under a new code and from a builder that I know does it right and has for years and builds ahead of code. So when we were done, I was able to look at him and go, do you now understand that it's a misconception that they used to be built better? We don't build them like we used to. No, we build them better today and we don't brag about it enough. Now, if you're a used home buyer, that's okay. Used home buyers are the people who want to live in an older community, grown in vegetation, all of it. If that's what you like for lifestyle, that's the lifestyle you buy. But the buyers we're missing are new home buyers who live in those communities now, want to move to a new community, but they don't believe our home is better. And that's shame on us that we're not marketing, advertising, and then sales presenting the fact that we have a superior product to what we had years ago. Now, be careful purchasing and operations that in this kind of market, you're not cutting corners to save money and build the house cheaper, and now we can't brag about it. If you build a better house, you can sell it to the people who have money, have credit, don't mind the interest rate because they will refi later, but you got to build a better house. So keep building a better product that gives me a better living experience and lifestyle. We stop and celebrate closing. Shame on us. We should celebrate the life our buyers live in their home. And we need to be bragging about the life that they are going to lead in their home and how all these things, the safety, the healthy, the efficient, the technology, how all of it makes that home improve and elevate my lifestyle and my living experience.
All right. Anything to add to that?
Phenomenal. It's well said. That's how we look at everything. Same idea. Just it's a holistic approach, and you got to show it all. You got to celebrate it all. It's well said.
So I know we've got some information here, but I think some of this is covered. What else would you add to this?
Mostly what I've said already, right? You're focusing on the value. You're not selling the price. One thing that bugs me more than anything else, so if I go into an electronics store like a Best Buy and I want to buy a TV, what's the first thing they're going to ask me? Anyone?
What price range?
What's your price range, right? If I go to a jewelry store and I want to buy a piece of jewelry for my wife, can I know the prices? They hide them. Why do they hide them? Because they're selling the value. The salespeople at Best Buy are doing Best Buy a huge disservice by starting with price, because now you're narrowing the conversation. I want to spend $800 on a TV. They're going to find the TV that's $800. What they should be asking me is, what am I looking for in a television? And then sell me on the value. If you start with price, you're telling the customer the most important thing is price. If you start with value, it makes it easier to justify the price later. Okay? Use relevant comparisons. I've heard a lot, but for me, being an outsider, I'm just looking at it as, if I buy a used home, I have to pump money into it to get it not even to where it would be as a new home. Just to get a few of the things I want, I have to put more money into it. Okay? If I buy a new home, I'm getting everything I want right off the bat. And then getting back to what Ryan said, rather than saying, here's the way we build, here's the product we've devised, now let's go sell it, it has to be customer centric. What is the customer looking for? Let's do that as much as is possible.
Okay. So, as we're kind of getting towards the end here, the last question is, what are some of the key messaging points we need to focus on when it comes specifically to resilience and integrity? So I think you had some first.
So I've done some research into insurance, some consumer behavior research, and what we were looking at specifically is, why do people buy insurance? What's some of the reasons? Now, as you all know, I'll lay it out for you anyway, because what I'm going to get to is a little counterintuitive. You get fire insurance. It doesn't stop a fire from damaging your home. What it does is give you money if that happens. But our research showed when items were insured, people actually believed it was less likely that the harm would come to them. Okay, so we did a simple experiment. You were shipping a product across the country and the shipping company offered you insurance, and whether you took it or not changed your perception of whether or not you thought that item would be damaged. So it almost was like a magic talisman. Having this insurance made you believe that it was safer. So being able to tell people it's fire reflective, you know, it withstands winds, all of that, you're not promising them the winds won't come. But an element of the way they're understanding that and internalizing that is, I am safer because I have this protecting me. So that's a big one. Sustainability, we've talked a lot about today. I'm not going to go into much more detail, but it does matter to a lot of customers. And to those customers to whom it matters, they are ready to pay more for that. And finally, personal health. So one story I told Brandon when we were preparing for this session. A few months ago, my daughter got sick with COVID. Now, my in-laws live near us. They're older. And one day they had to come over and watch her because both my wife and I work. We needed to be outside of the house. My daughter had to wear a mask inside the house, right? Which is unpleasant for everyone involved. We didn't want to ask her to wear a mask. She didn't want to wear the mask, but we wanted to keep her grandparents safe and make sure that she was less likely to infect them. Imagine how much better we would have felt if we knew our home was built with a certain number of air exchanges per hour and we had that information, that the filtration system was specific for viruses like COVID. This is enormously important to customers right now at this moment. Will it be as important 2 years from now? God, I hope not. Okay, but right now it is extremely important. So being able to sell those health and wellness aspects to your home, that the air is clean enough that if someone decides, you know what, if I get sick, I'm just going to hang out in the basement for a couple of days and I don't have to worry about the air I'm breathing out in the basement infecting everyone above me without me having to walk around with a mask or go to a hotel, which is what a lot of people did during COVID or whatever else. That has tremendous value to customers. Even if no one ever gets COVID ever again, it's all top of mind for us right now. Okay? And whether it's COVID or whatever's going to come next, or air pollution or whatever else, this type of stuff is very important to customers. Even if, you know, they don't care as much about the sustainability side of it, they do want to make sure that the air they're breathing is healthy, and you can sell that.
It's a great teaser for this afternoon session on wellness and health. Let's get Mike's final comments on these key features, and then Ryan can wrap up.
If you're addressing it as a builder, if you're addressing the change in climate and the extreme heat and extreme weather, and the safer your home is built now, not just for earthquake or flood or wind, but if you're looking and you're building a better home, a truly new home, then you should be bragging about and showing them how it is safer, how it will be more resilient, and how it will resist the changes that we're facing. And again, it's not a political argument. It's not a discussion. It's just 8 billion of us on the planet versus 2 billion 120 years ago. And we're building homes and things are different. And so we're living in a different time. Is your home new enough to be different? And are you showing how it's going to give me peace of mind that it's at least as good as it can be? See, forget code. Code can be 4 or 5 years old. Is my home built to the latest and greatest standards? And can you brag about that and demonstrate that online and in the sales office?
Final thoughts?
Last thing I would just say for us is we avoid all polarizing kind of comments or points. We don't polarize anybody. We just have tools in our tool bag that if they want to polarize on us, then we can substantiate and show that, yep, if you're worried about climate, here's what we got for that. If you're worried about this, but we don't do the polarizing. There's just people are just too volatile right now.
Yeah.
People are one side or the other, and we're not going to take a stance and be like, we're all about this. We just excluded a bunch of people, or we're all, one side or the other. We're not going to either side. We're Switzerland.
Well, on that note, and talk about polarizing at this particular moment in time, what you're talking about in terms of your green board and your dimensional product reminds me a little bit of Tesla. Okay, Tesla sold itself as a high technology car much more than it sold itself as an electric car. If you cared about emissions, fine, it's electric. But it was about performance and all the features and bells and whistles and everything. What you're talking about is this product performs better. It happens to be sustainable as well.
Yep.
And if you care about that, we can sell the hell out of that part of it. But really, it's a better product.
Yep. That's what we say about our company, and that's what we should be saying about the new homes is we're a technology company. We just happen to deliver it through modular method.
Yep.
Two sides of the same coin. Customers want to buy. If we build and meet create that value that they're looking for, we can sell it for a higher price. So we'll wrap up for today. We'll see you at lunchtime. This is contact information for everyone who's participated today. Join me in a round of applause for our panelists. Feel free to come up and talk to them. You're now excused to your next events. Make sure you check the back of your card where you're supposed to be next. Make sure you're there on time. And we'll see you at lunch. Thanks, everyone.